everyone and welcome once again. This is Teacher Reese for another episode here at Rizal Delightful Lessons. Our episode is all about one of the parts of speech. So, can you still remember the different parts of speech? Alright, so we have noun, we have pronoun, we have verb, adverb, adjective, interjection, and we also have your preposition. So we learned already about noun before, verb also, and for today's episode, we will focus on the so-called pronoun. Let's review on pronoun. So what is all about pronoun? So we have the word noun there. So noun, it names a person, place, thing, animal, or an idea. But we have the so-called pronoun. So when we say pronoun, it substitutes. Can you still remember this one? It substitutes the noun. So for example, if we have Reese, then you may use the pronoun he, right? Or you may also use him. So this is an example of a pronoun. So you may also use, for example, Riza. And we know basically Riza is a name of a girl, right? So you may use she to substitute Riza in a sentence. Or you may also use her. So that is all about pronoun. So pronoun, it substitutes a noun or a noun phrase. Episode for today, and we will talk about possessive pronoun. So what do we mean when we say possessive pronoun? Do you have an idea? So you have already here the word possessive means possession. So if you possess something, that means you own it. So meaning to say, when we say possessive pronoun, it means that you are giving ownership. So you own something. It's something to do with possession. Alright, so remember that possessive pronoun shows ownership or possession. So if you are going to look at other references when it comes to possessive pronoun, and so remember the possessive noun, meaning you are going to use apostrophe, right? So it make use of apostrophe and the use of your S. So meaning you have your apostrophe S. So let's say Reese bag, meaning to say I own the bag. So the bag of Reese, right? So that is all about in a possessive noun. On the other hand, for example, we have your possessive pronoun. Possessive pronoun doesn't use the apostrophe s instead. Alright, so for today's video, we will learn about what are these possessive pronouns. Some examples. So let's try to read the following. My face mask, your gadget, our assignments, his module, her face shield, its decision, their gadgets. So if you can observe, we did not use apostrophe s to show ownership or possession, right? Instead, we use the following. So if you are going to read this, my face mask, who owned the face mask? My, right? So we have my is the first possessive pronoun here. Your gadget, who owns that gadget? So it's yours, right? You may say that one. Who owns the assignment? Our assignment. So you belong. So that's why you use our. Then that is his module. So you make use his also. Then her face shield. So of course we have the word her. Then its decision. Then we have your there. So these are some of the examples of possessive pronouns that you may encounter later on. Okay, so we have my, your, our, his, her, its, and their. Still, we can here you can also apply the so-called number in grammar. Remember the number in grammar? That means if we are talking about singular, you are referring to only one. That's why it's singular. Then if you are referring to two or more, that means you are using the so-called plural. So singular and plural are the two numbers in grammar. Of course, in the possessive pronoun, you must also be familiar with the so-called gender. Remember gender? So of course, when you are referring to boy or male, then you may use the masculine. Then if you are referring to girl or female, of course you make use of the feminine. And if there's no gender, of course, that is neuter. Correct? So remember to apply these things in identifying or in using the so-called possessive pronoun. Number in grammar, singular and plural, and of course the gender in grammar, we have your masculine, feminine, and neuter. Of course, if you are referring to a boy here, you make use of your his. So his module. Then if you are referring to a girl, referring to the ownership of girl, so of course you make use her face shield or her module. Alright, so remember that one. However, if you are part of the group, for example, you also own that thing, then you may say our. So, our assignments. See? Then if you are referring to a person, then you are telling that he or she owns that thing, then you may say your assignment, your gadget. You may use of your. Then, if you are referring to your own face mask, for example, then you may use my face mask, my module, my assignment, because you own it personally. Then, if you are referring to a thing which you do not belong, you did not co-own that thing, that means you may use their gadgets. So you don't belong to the ownership or possession, but you are referring that they own that gadget. So there is the correct possessive pronoun here. Alright, so I hope you understood about these are just some of the possessive pronouns that you need to understand for this video. Other possessive pronouns that you need to understand also. We have the word theirs, mine, ours, yours, his, and her. So of course you learned already about the use of your gender in grammar. So let us have an example. So I have here two sentences and you are going to identify the appropriate possessive pronoun to complete the sentence. Alright, let's see number one. Faye donated her old clothes to the foundation. So what do you think is the best possessive pronoun in this example? All you need to do first is to identify your subject. So our subject is Faye, right? Then after knowing that one, you need to learn or you need to know what gender or what is the gender for Faye. Alright, so this is feminine. So by that, you can have the idea already what is the best or the appropriate possessive pronoun. So I'm giving you tip in answering such activity. So you need to know first your subject. Apply what you have learned about subject. You need to apply also about the number in grammar, if it is singular or plural, how many of them in the subject. So we have Faye, Faye is singular, right? And it's feminine. So the most appropriate to choose here is very good. It's her. Faye donated her old clothes to the foundation. Oh, what about number two? Ralph and Kent opened their new shop. So apply what you have learned. Remember, know first your subject. Very good. So we have Ralph and Kent. Oh, next question. Oh, what number in grammar? Is it singular or plural? Plural. So we are referring to two. What gender? Are they feminine? Are they masculine? So the gender is very good. So masculine. So by that, very good. So we are talking about two of them. Then it must be their. So their new shop. Ralph and Kent opened their new shop. Very good. Okay, what about this example? The school feeding distributed the food bags to her beneficiaries. So what do you think is the correct answer here? Remember what I have told you? Some of the tips in answering this activity. So what do you think? Alright, so we have the same answer. It's because we are referring to school feeding. So we'll have the school feeding program. So the school feeding distributed the food bags to its beneficiaries. Alright, so I hope you learned something new today that is all about possessive pronoun. What is all about possessive pronouns again? When we say possessive pronoun, it means that this shows ownership or possession. It does not use of your apostrophe s, not like noun that it uses the apostrophe s. But in our possessive pronoun, we have my or mine, you have your or yours, you have your their or theirs, we have your his or her, ours. So those are examples of possessive pronouns. So remember, use them correctly in sentences. Alright, so this has been a quiz and I hope you learned something new today and apply it every day. Thank you very much for your cooperation and your participation in our video lesson. It's all about possessive pronouns. Alright, thank you very much. See you.